Hey there, it's Crafty Jennabug. Once again, we have a paper bag on my desk. So I challenged myself for all of 2023 to make a junk journal each month using a paper bag as the cover and decorate it throughout each month. This is the final month of 2023, December. I'm excited to have stuck through with this. I'm not the best at seeing things through, but I utilized the fact that I had all of you to hold me accountable. And I'm really excited about this month's because Barbara at 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel, both on YouTube, they host a month-long celebration challenge type thing for the month of December, where they provide a prompt list and lots of free printables, and you're challenged to make ephemera throughout the month of December, hence the fun name Dephemerember. And I participated last year. It was so much fun. It was so challenging, and I will definitely be posting more often throughout this month. I've been a little low on the posts simply because I knew this was coming and just life stuff. But either way, we are going to get down to making this journal. The first thing I'm going to do is take a piece of regular copy paper, fold it in half, and I'm going to lay it down and figure out how big I want my margins to be for this journal. Now I've got this little cutout here. I don't quite want to go up to it because I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to go here, make a mark on this side and a mark on this side, and that is where my papers will sit. This I'm going to mark. That's where I want to cut. And then let's see how far we are margin wise. 1/2 inch. Man, I'm good at that. Is it a 1/2 inch the whole way? Awesome. Nice. So then, oops, I bumped the camera. We're going to go with 1/2 inch up here. All the way across. And then I'm going to figure out how much I need here. I think right about there, which translates to about here. So then I will cut this to there. All right, so I'm going to trim this and we'll be back. All right, we've got it trimmed down. This will be my journal cover. Now I'm going to cover it in fabric like I've done all of the others. The fabrics I have chosen for the outside is this beautiful blue and gray and white floral pattern. Oh, apparently it's Waverly Inspirations screen print. And I love it. It's going to be gorgeous. It is light, so I will have to prime this so you don't see the words through it. And then I have this beautiful shimmery white, and that's going to go on the inside. So we've got the outside and the inside. And both of these I purchased as fabric remnants from Walmart for like $1 a piece, something like that. So I didn't even have to go get fabric cut. It's a lot of fun to go and see what you can find. I often do that actually. So I need something to put this on to prime it. Some packing paper. And to prime this, I'm just going to use some plain white acrylic paint, brush it on the one side, let it dry, flip it, do the same. and we'll be back to address what happens after that. All right, this has dried. I painted both sides, and then I did 2 coats on each side. I painted it with a coat, let it dry a little bit with my heat gun, and then did a second coat because you could still see the words. I really don't want them to come through. So that is done. Now I get to apply my fabric. I went ahead and cut this piece to fit with a little overlap so that once it's glued down, I can fold it over. Make a nice neat edge. So I've got to glue this down. What I'm going to do what I'm going to use to glue that down is Yes Paste and my favorite glue spreader, which is a face mask silicone brush from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to do that off camera because it gets a little tedious. I'm literally just spreading a thin layer of Yes Paste, and then I will be back to show you how I glue down the fabric. All right, thin layer of Yes Paste, and then I'm going to lay down my fabric. With what I hope is a similar amount of space on either side. I start in the middle. I don't iron my fabric. I just start in the middle and press it out. Hopefully it doesn't stain. Sometimes the Yes Paste can stain lighter fabric, but I'm not going to be that mad about it, I think. So I did that, and then I will flip it over. It is not the same on all 4 sides, but this is the shortest. I can always cut this side to match this side, and vice versa, with the top and bottom match them. And then when I fold it over the interior, it'll be a little cleaner. Now I've got to cut my fabric for the inside. To do that, I'm just going to lay this down and take it I'll take it all the way to the edge, even though I won't cut it that far. And there's a little bit of a trim edge on this side, so I'm going to cut that off. All right. So now I just need to spread the Yes Paste on this side, put my fabric down just like I did on the cover, and then I'll let it dry and we'll be back. All right, so I have glued down the inner cover, and I can tell already that the Yes Paste is going to stain it. I'm not going to get upset by that. Probably would have been better off using a different adhesive. Too late now. I'm going with it. It's a junk journal. We'll make it work. The front also has been grunged up a little because of it. So it's at least cohesive. So glued down the inner cover. I don't know how old my Yes Paste is. Anyway, I glued down the inner cover, and then I trimmed the outer fabric so that it was roughly the same. It's off. It's going to be off. I'm not even stressing it. And then I trimmed the corners across diagonally so that when they fold, it'll be just neater. And to adhere these little flaps, I'm going to use tacky glue. And I'm just going to run a bead. Run a bead along the edge, and then starting in the center and pulling it flush. Glue it down. And I'll do that for all 4 edges. Then I will let this dry and sew around the edges, and we'll be back. All right, this cover has dried. I have sewn around it with a zigzag stitch. It did stain a little bit where the Yes paste was thickest, and I kind of like it. It gave it a bit of a grungy look instead of that stark white. This side's even worse, but I'm rolling with it. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. So that is my cover for this journal. Now we got to work on the pages. Just creasing it so that I know where the center is when I sew in my signatures, which I will do momentarily. As for the signatures, this is what I've got. I went ahead and took the liberty of making these pages and items a little less stark white. I didn't want to just go into this with all white pages. So I took a white envelope and I used a few Distress Oxide inks and sprays to and water to dye these. I used the packaging of my gel print. I used the packaging of my jelly plate to smear ink and spray water so that I had a nice surface and with which to dab these. So I used a variety of colors. I used Lost Shadow, Tumbled Glass, Stormy Sky, tiny dab of old paper on one of these, and that's the Distress Oxide inks that I used. And then as far as sprays, I used Lost Shadow, Weathered Wood, and Prize Ribbon Distress Oxide sprays. And just for giggles, I used a little bit of this Dilutions London Blue Shimmer spray on a couple of pages. So here, this envelope will get sewn into the signature like this, so then I'll have a triangular page and I'll also have a side pocket. This envelope, I glued the flap down on the inside before I decorated it. I just used a few sprays, and that will be sewn into the signature like this, so I'll have a pocket and a little page. This is a piece of graph paper that was tea dyed, drawn on a little bit, and I folded the bottom up and sewed along the edges with a small zigzag stitch to make pockets, and it'll be sewn in like so that there will be two pockets, either like that or like that. I haven't decided yet. And then I have a few pages that are longer. I need to trim these down, but I just decorated the back of this scrapbook paper a little bit. This one I folded the side over and sewed all the way across. Another one I need to trim down. Let me move these to the side. As I figure out my signatures, I'll need to trim a few down. I'll probably have to trim these bigger ones down too. More scrapbook paper. Very lightly colored on that side. And that's it for the scrapbook papers. And a lot of these were actually scraps that I found in my stash from previous things, so it's all coming full circle. This page I decorated forever ago, or my kid decorated it, I'm not sure which. We were playing with Distress Oxides and watercolors and all sorts of things, just decorating pages that day. We went a little nuts, but I like it a lot. I think it fits the theme of this journal. It feels very wintry. This one, the rest of these I did for this journal. This one has a little bit of the shimmer spray on it. So now I just need to figure out placement for these in signatures, and I'll be right back to show you what I got. Alright, my signatures are put together. I have figured out the layout of them, and now I need to get them ready for sewing. Make sure all my pages are flush together, and then I will use some paper clips to ensure they aren't going anywhere. That's that one. Same with this one. Okay, those are done. Next, my sad little template. I've used this for several months during this challenge to poke holes. I think I'm gonna have to retire it after this one. So here we go. This is my front cover. So let's just put this in here on either side of that crease I made. Let's line it up like that. Pin it in place. Awesome. And then I'm just going to take my poking tool and I'm going to poke a hole at each intersection here. This is a 5-hole pamphlet stitch. For 2 signatures. So my holes are poked in the cover. Ta-da. Now, put that to the side. Now I need to poke holes in my signatures. So I'm going to line up the crease in the papers to the crease in, or to one of the lines. Like that. And then poke a hole in the crease. I really need to glue this needle back in. Okay, and then I'll do the same to the other one and we'll be back to sew them. Now that my holes are all poked, I have a needle and I'm going to take some, this is some friendship thread. It's rough, it's basically embroidery floss that has not been separated, that the strands have not been separated on. And I have 3 times the height, and I always do a little extra. Scissors do not want to cut thread. And then I will thread my needle. Got my needle threaded, and now I get to decide which signature I want to be the first. I don't like to start with the first signature because I like to let gravity help me out. So I'll do the last signature and work my way through to the first. So what I'm going to do is, do I want a dangle? Dangles might be fun on the outside. So since I want to do a dangle, I am going to start on the outside of the journal and leave a bit of string. So I'm starting on the top hole of the second set of poked holes, this being my front cover. And I just find my hole, pull through. I do not want to pull this all the way through. There's the end. I'll leave a little bit. I will leave about that much. And then what I'll do is I will take a bit of washi tape or masking tape and I will tape that edge down. That washi tape has lost all its stick. So masking tape it is. There we go. And then I'm going to go from the inside down to the second hole and through. And basically what I'm going to do is just go in, or I'm going to go through the holes to the bottom and then back up and through until I get back to the top. But I won't come back through this top hole. All right, so I've gone all the way back down. I'm going to go back up, and I'm going to be very careful not to cross through the already sewn strands, because then I'll end up with issues. And we got enough issues. We don't need any more. I'm keeping it pretty tight. I like to go directly to the side, because if I go here, I'm going to cut through the string that went down on the outside. So I go to the side a wee bit. There we go. And now that I've come back here, look at how much extra I had. That's going to be an awesome dangle. Pull this off and pull it tight. Make sure everything is nice and tight. I like to go and try to lift these. Sometimes on the, well, that one obviously is going to be loose because it's the very top. Oh yeah, we're good. Sweet. So then I'm going to tie these at the top because I want my dangle to be at the top. I'm just doing a square knot. Holding it tight and pulling it tight. And then I like to take that square knot and do it half a square knot with one more time. I just ripped that. All right, so I'll have one less dangle on that side. Wow, that does not bode well for the strength of this thread, does it? That or I pulled real hard. So interesting. Okay. All right then. I guess I pulled that a little too hard. Now I could. I might reattach that. So I'm going to go ahead and sew in the front signature. I can take these off now. I'm going to go ahead and sew in the first signature now, and I'll be right back. So my signatures are both sewn in. This book does not want to close. It's already a gator mouth, and we haven't even started decorating in it. So I want to fix my dangles since I ended up ripping this piece of thread off. I want more dangles. So I'm going to tie a little knot. Let's see, is that the length I want it? Yeah, let's make one a little shorter. Tie a knot here so that I have a loop here, just a small little loop. And I'm going to thread one side through that loop. So that it's up there with them. And then I'm going to take these two strands that were not destroyed and this one strand that is left over here, and I'm going to tie another square knot over them in the center, and then I'm going to take them all, and I don't know the name of this knot, but I'm grabbing all the strands and wrapping them around themselves and pulling the ends through to make a nice knot there, and there will be all of my dangles. I think I'm going to leave them blank for now. I'm not quite sure. I need to go through all of my beads and see. I'll save that for another video during this month. But there we have it. The December journal is made. I cannot wait for Dephemerember to begin and officially start working in this journal. I'm excited. I'm really excited. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.